Here's how to create a search campaign really quickly, and I'll walk you through some do's and don'ts just in case you think you know it all already. So let's go through and start to create a new campaign. So if you're in the overview, you might see this new campaign button, or just go into campaigns, click the plus button. So click that. Now when you get to this screen and it asks you to choose your objective, what Google is really doing is they're going to lock you out of certain features depending on what you choose, because it acts as guardrails so that you're not accidentally playing around with the wrong settings. Okay, so if you choose sales, it might lock you out of certain bidding strategies or try to not show you certain options. So it's a good idea if you're an experienced advertiser to choose without guidance so that you can see all the options available to you. So select that one. And in this case, we might create a search campaign. So click on that one there. And then we're going to continue with these goals, assume they're all correct. If these are not correct, then of course go back over to goals, swap them out first. So click continue. And then we're going to go website visitors. And then I'm going to put in this website here. And then click continue. And then from here, the naming convention, let's say it was at a certain city like Sacramento. So I'd just do that and then long hyphen. And then we'll just say all services because I might want to push all services. Or if I want to be more tight with it, I just say Gates because I just want to push Gates as the main product, and then click continue. And then from here, what I recommend is start with conversions if your conversions are set up properly. There's no evidence to suggest that if you start with max clicks first, that you're going to necessarily get better results. Because what happens is, I've explained in other videos, max clicks will basically take any click it can get. Whereas max conversions will take any click it can get, but it will qualify people to see whether or not there's any buying intent first. Okay, and that's really what you want. That's why you want to set to max conversions. Now, if you've got suspicions that you're not getting good performance, then you might want to set a max clicks experiment and then just experiment 50% of the traffic, which you'll learn later on. But in this case, just start with max conversions for now. And then you don't want to set target cost per action, so uncheck that one, at least initially, of course, until you've trained the algorithm. And you don't want to check the customer acquisition either, so just leave that unchecked and click next. From here, when it asks you to select the actual networks, just uncheck those, because Google will basically spend whatever's left over of your money into these other platforms that usually, like 99% of the time, do not yield any good results. So let's skip that. And then scroll down to the location. We'll go enter another location and type in Sacramento for this example. So Sacramento, United States, include for now. If you've got specific postcodes or anything like that, you can go through an advanced search, go through radiuses. You can put in the postcodes in bulk and say that these are all in the United States. So let's say, for example, you put in a bunch of postcodes, it knows the postcodes are for United States and it's going to usually select the correct ones. You could also select here and start clicking include on a lot of these so that you're including heaps of the surrounding suburbs manually, like so. Of course, be careful with it and then just get rid of stuff that doesn't make sense. I'll just save and continue. Let's say that that was correct. In location options, you want to make sure that you've got people in or regularly in your included locations. Now, the only time that you probably want a presence in is, let's say, for example, you're running ads for one suburb in a big city. And let's say, for example, it's a dental clinic and you've got people living outside of that suburb, but they're willing to travel to that clinic. You might want to select the presence or interest. But in this case, a lot of the time, you're just going to select presence with people in or regularly in your included locations. And then in this case, you'd select English. Now, if you've got ads in Spanish or Chinese or whatever, then of course you want to change that to that language. Political ads, this is a new thing, just select no. Audience segments, you don't need to select targeting yet. We will do that later on as we're optimizing when we've collected some more data. So let's just leave that for now. Click on the more settings area. So with the ad rotation, Google is going to try to rotate your best performing ads. And if it finds that 1 or 2 or 3 of your ads are doing really well and you've got another 10 on the sidelines, it's not even going to give those 10 on the sidelines a fair chance to run or see the light of day. So when you're starting out, sometimes it's actually a good idea to not optimize, but you want to keep a close eye on your ads anyway if this actually does happen, and then eventually just switch over to the prefer performing ads. Okay. For the rest of it, start date, end date, that's common sense. Most of the time you'll leave no end date in sight. Ad schedule, of course you don't want to run ads 24/7 because you might attract people from overseas or people in different time zones that aren't ideal in your audience. So I would just definitely play around with that. With the URL options, you would set that at the account level, not the campaign level in my opinion. So let's skip that for now. And then page feeds, let's just ignore that. And then what you want to do is click next. And from here, do not turn AI Max on because it really tanks your campaign and and spends a lot of money without results. So do not do that. Do not let AI write your ads either. You're going to write them yourself. So we'll go next, and then we will skip this part. So where it says the skip button, you want to skip that. And then you're going to select the keywords or paste the keywords that you've chosen in the previous steps in here for the first ad group, because right now we're looking at ad group 1. Okay, so you name it to whatever naming convention you had for that ad group. So let's say you sell socks, and then it would be socks, and then you have all the keywords, you paste them in here, and you're good to go. And then you start going ahead with writing your ad copy. So what I'm going to do for now is skip ahead, but basically you want to make sure you've got the business name in there if you can, the logo, so it increases click-through rate, some images because that increases click-through rate. You go through your site links as well. From there, once you've done all of that, you can skip the ad URL options, and then from there click save, and then that's your first ad group. Let's say in this case for socks, and then you can continually creating ad groups. What I would do is just go next right away, and then your daily budget would be whatever you set in the previous step. So let's say it's like 20 bucks a day. Just for now, let's get rid of this side chat panel here, and then it's just checking for any errors, confirm it's me. Okay, so I verified that it's me. It's checking for any more errors just in case, and sometimes it might pop up with errors, but all you need to do is just go back to one of the previous steps, whatever it is, and go back to here. And then you go publish, right? So I'm not actually going to run this campaign. I'm going to remove it. But here's what you do after you've set up your campaign. This is what a lot of people miss out on, and they do not do and ignore. And it's a big rookie mistake. So with the Google tag, you'll of course want to set up your conversions first through what converts. But for now, I'm actually going to skip this and exit. So I might click on the escape button here, and then I can go into my campaigns. And I should be able to see my new Sacramento gates here, so click on that one. And then inside of here, make sure that you're going into the ad group of choice, and then you're adding negative keywords in the keywords area. That's what a lot of people miss out on. They skip that part and they forget to add the negative keywords. Okay, so go do that, and also make sure that you're adding negative keywords to the account level negatives. So make sure you're going in here and adding all the stuff like free, Craigslist, employment, all this crap that you don't want to enter into. That's what a lot of people skip out on, and they do not do it properly. I hope that helps. If you've got any questions, let me know. More than happy to help, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.